This morning I was reading in Mark chapter 5, so that's the Gospel of Mark in chapter 5. And I read the whole chapter, so there's a few different little stories that happen in that chapter. And the first one was that Jesus cast out the demons from this person who was living among the tombs, and all the demons went into the herd of swine, and the swine ran down off the cliff and into the sea, I think. And the thing that I want to just take from that little piece is that Jesus would not permit this man to go with him afterwards. Like, he had been liberated and he wanted to come with Jesus. And he said, no, you go home to your family and announce to them what God has done for you. And he did. And he went and told everybody, and they were all amazed. So that's one. The next story had to do with the lady with the hemorrhage. So she had been suffering for 12 years, going to doctors. She had no money left, no healing. She thinks to herself, if I can just touch his cloak, if I can just touch the cloak of Jesus, I'll be healed. And so she does, and she's healed. And Jesus turns around and he's like, who did that? Because he knew power had gone out of him. And so then the end of the story is the woman, realizing what had happened to her, approached in fear and trembling. She fell down before Jesus and told him the whole truth, meaning that she's the one that touched him and was healed. He said to her, "Daughter, your faith has saved you. Go in peace and be cured of your affliction." So that's that little part. And then the last one was where Jesus heals a little girl who had died. And before that happens, somebody just told the father that the little girl had died. And Jesus said, "Do not be afraid, just have faith." And he went back to his house with him, and he that's where the line Talitha cum comes from, which means, little girl, I say to you, arise. That's what Jesus says. So after I had read that, I did that thing where I, sit and just write a little bit about it, and I try to connect it to stuff within me in my life and stuff. And I really recommend doing that. I also recommend erasable colored pencils. These are by Crayola, and I get them at Target. They're wonderful. No, I'm not sponsored. Maybe someday. But anyway, so what I really got out of listening to this is that what we need is faith, which we already all know this, but faith is an infused virtue. And if there's anything that we need God to liberate us from or heal us from, or, we need to have new life, then obviously we need lots of faith. We need to have the faith to ask God for whatever it is that we need. And I think for myself, I have to say that, I do have faith, but sometimes it just doesn't seem like there's enough faith. I struggle with certain things. Right now, I would really love a great healing or something where God would help me have more energy. And so I would be liberated from the need to rely on caffeine. I would be healed of whatever within me is making it hard for me to sleep well, and just have energy in general, or get into a good routine where I'm getting that exercise that would help me, whatever it is that God knows is going to be best for me for my healing and increase in energy. I would love that. And so I want to pray for that. And also, I'm imagining relating to the resurrection of the little girl, of just like feeling a new life, feeling, young again, and healthy and vibrant, and, just feel good when I wake up in the morning and ready to go and feel good all day. That would be nice. I mean, I can't expect it. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, it's one of those things. You never really know what to ask for, and you got to trust God. I have to, just trust God that maybe he wants me to have this cross of being, tired and low energy, and just kind of having to moderate the caffeine the best I can, or whatever. Whatever it is. But the bottom line that I want to say is that faith is an infused virtue, which means that God gives it to us. And so if faith is what we need to be liberated, to be healed, to have new life, etc., then we can ask God to give us more faith and keep praying for whatever it is that we need, and be open to whatever God's real solution is for us, and really praying with perseverance, like I think it's the widow that was demanding justice. Finally, the judge was like, this woman is going to end up hitting me or something eventually if I don't hurry up and give her justice. So it's like, that's another story. But just the idea being that Jesus told stories telling us to persevere in prayer. And faith is an infused virtue. So therefore, even though there are things that we can do to cultivate the faith that God has given us, we can also ask God to give us greater faith. And on the note of ways to cultivate your faith, some of the things, like for myself, I want to be more diligent about, more consistent about coming up into this room. This is where I do my prayer time most effectively, if I come into this room, because nobody comes in here but me. It's just me. And I've got my Bible. It's a Catholic study Bible, so it's got lots of good footnotes and stuff if I really kind of just like have a question about something. Like I said, I use my erasable colored pencils to highlight, and sometimes I'll write in the margin, as you can see. And I color code. I color code my scriptures. So like red is like when God is giving us some kind of a gift. Blue has something to do with protection or peace. Green, when God's telling us, when Jesus is telling us specifically what he wants us to do. Browns are kind of like for, attitudes of holiness. So I would say faith would be, just being faithful is something I would put in the color brown. But anyway, so I'm going to try really hard to be more consistent in making sure that I get my Bible time first thing in the morning, and that's what I highly recommend. This is a very much recommended kind of meditation where you meditate on the scriptures, specifically the Gospels, but any part of scripture is awesome. But like Therese de Lisieux, when she was lying in bed with tuberculosis, dying, and really was experiencing kind of a dark night of the soul where you feel desolate, and your faith is really just faith up here and you can't feel it anywhere else. And the one thing that she got the most benefit from was meditating upon the Gospels. So just another plug for meditating on the Gospels. Anyway, so that's what I was just reading from, Mark chapter 5. I hope you guys have a great day and benefit from prayer, and just ask for faith and keep asking for whatever healing you need, and be open to whatever it is that God gives you, because what he gives you is coming from his goodwill and his all-knowing love of you and knowledge of you and your design. All right, so have a wonderful day.